It's a new year, and with a new year, new me comes the best time to finally start that business you've been thinking about. This is the year to make the leap into entrepreneurship, become your own boss, take charge. January will be over before you know it. Don't let it slip away. The most powerful move you can make to take life by the reins is to start your business with Shopify. Millions of entrepreneurs have already made the leap, from small businesses and startups to juggernauts like Mattel and Gymshark. And Shopify gives you everything you need to sell, both in person and online. They have hundreds of awesome templates you can use to set up your online store and built-in AI tools to help with item descriptions, headlines, and enhanced product photos. And when your store is ready to go, Shopify can help you tell the world about it with their easy-to-use email and social media campaigns. And most importantly, Shopify can help you deliver to those customers by putting your orders, inventory, and tools to expand to more markets all into one simple-to-use dashboard. In 2026, stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period and start selling today at shopify.com/RTG. Go to shopify.com/RTG. That's shopify.com/RTG. Hear your first this new year with Shopify by your side. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Remember the Game. It is my retro gaming podcast where every week a buddy of mine and I sit down and we geek out about the games we played back in the day. My name is Adam Blank. Thank you so much for listening to the show. And this week it is episode 358, and it's one of our world-renowned revisited episodes where we take another look at a game we covered back in the earliest days of RTG when we had even less of an idea of what we were doing than we do now. We do these every couple of months, and this time we are talking about the game that starred in Remember the Game episode 40, I think, around there anyways. The immaculate Donkey Kong Country for the SNES. I'm sure there are a couple of people listening to this episode that never played it back in the day. I'd be willing to bet there's no one listening to this that's never heard of Donkey Kong Country. If you haven't, I don't know how. Maybe you clicked this episode or this show thinking it was about monkeys. No, because it's maybe about donkeys? I don't know how you wouldn't know what Donkey Kong Country is. I refuse to believe there's anyone out there that doesn't at least know of this game. It restarted the Donkey Kong franchise. It made Rare a household name in many Nintendo homes. And for my money, it is a platformer on the SNES that gives my precious Super Mario World a run for its money. In a lot of ways, quite frankly, Donkey Kong Country is a better game than Super Mario World. And this is such a special title to me. I love playing it. It was the debut of Diddy Kong, of whom I am a massive fan. And this episode's going live about a week before Christmas. And I don't know if there's a video game out there that reminds me more of Santa's Big Day, more than Donkey Kong Country. My brother and I got this from jolly old St. Nick on Christmas back when I was about 12 years old, and we spent the entire Christmas day just playing Donkey Kong Country and eating Christmas food. I vividly remember getting stuck on that barrel level, the first level of the snow world, where it becomes like a blizzard and you can't find your way through all the barrels and everything. Probably one of my most core happy Christmas memories as a kid. This game, I fucking love Donkey Kong Country. My guest this week to talk some Donkey Kong Country is the DK to my Diddy Kong, co-host of the Retrotopia podcast and one of the three henchmen in our Discord, one of our power-hungry mods, my pal Captain N. And I mean, what do you like? I know some people have said, don't ruin what you think of the game in the intro. Well, what do you expect us to say? It's Donkey Kong Country, right? I love this game. He loves this game. You love this game. We sing these praises. We talk about our favorite levels, the music, the graphics. This is an incredibly positive episode of the show because Donkey Kong Country just frankly deserves all of the love. And we're going to get to that in just a couple of minutes because speaking of deserving some love, it's time for another edition of the Remember the Game infamous intro. Dun, 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 dun. And if you're new to the podcast, welcome aboard and consider this your warning. Your intros are kind of long. They're not that long. They're kind of long. But they're fun. We talk video games and stuff. And they are much less difficult to get through than some of those Donkey Kong Country barrel levels. All you do is take your phone and slide the little slider to I'm getting pretty good at timing it out, to about the 30-minute mark, and you should be into video game talk. I recommend giving the whole intro a listen, though. We talk video games and shit. They're a good time. I just want to get one quick public service announcement, I guess. One housekeeping note out of the way here to start the episode. Beginning in January, I'm going to be moving the bye week from Remember the Game from the first week of the month to the last week. So right now I skip the first week, the first Wednesday of most months to help get caught up on games and stuff. And I'm just having too much trouble keeping up. So on Patreon as well, beginning in January, there will be Remember the Games and all of our regular shows on the first week of the month. But the last week of each month, there will not be any episodes of the shows, including on Patreon. But to make good to my Patreons, there will be some exclusive gameplay streams. I'll be game streaming Monday through Friday now on Patreon. So if you're a patron over there, you should be able to get some extra video game streams and come by and say hi to me. It should be a good time. And if you like to listen to RTG on the free feeds, have no fear. On the bye weeks, as I've done in the past, I'll dip into the Patreon archives and find a freebie and throw it up there for you to have something to listen to. So that's our big change going into the new year. I'm excited. I'm really struggling to keep up with all the games for the show, plus all the modern games I'm trying to play and have any kind of a social, the social life and 5 shows a week. It's just a lot. So I'm just going to take that 1 week, do some game streams, still going to be hanging around the community and talking, but just a couple less podcasts, which I'm hoping translates into more of a quality over quantity thing when it comes to the show, because God knows, Remember the Game cannot afford any kind of a dip in quality at this point. So that's what's going on. Yeah. And if you want to check those out, the streams and all that stuff, look at our Patreon. I got to get the plug-in. That's how I keep my bills on. Patreon.com/Remember the Game. Our subscription started as little as $3 a month. You get up to 4 additional shows each week. There's no ads in any of them. You also get Remember the Game, the entire back catalog with timestamps and no ads and all that stuff. You can also vote on the games we cover, suggest games for the show, join our 1,000+ member Discord, write in and play along with Play One, Remake One, Erase One, and all that kind of stuff. Maybe get read on the podcast. Get instant access to literal hundreds and hundreds of archive bonus podcasts with no ads. And most importantly, you get a shout out and get to hear me mispronounce your name like I'm going to do to one of these people for sure. A huge thank you to our newest Patreons, Kyle Dunn, Luke Smith, Luciano Launius, double L. I don't know how to say that one. Vinsol, Winchi, Andrew Mills, and Zebrica. I'm not sure what accent. Zebraica? I butchered those. But thank you all for the support. Welcome to Remember the Game Industries. You can find all that at patreon.com/Remember the Game. There's some free episodes over there to give it a shot. If you sign up for a full year, you get 12 months on the house, and we donate some of it to the Stollery Children's Hospital every year because it's good karma, all right? That's enough blowing myself. Let's blow some of you by blowing in some cartridges. It is the opening segment here on the show. I read a few comments and questions from our Patreons, usually gaming related, but not always. And we call this segment Blowing in the Cartridge.
He blows all right. He blows big time.
That's it, honey. Get into the spirit.
Let's blow. Our first blower this week is Coffee Steve, who said, "Hey, Adam, I was just wondering what the story is behind Slick Motherfucking Rick being in the Remember the Game Hall of Fame. Every time you read the Patreon shoutouts at the end of the shows, he's always the first name read. I'm just curious." Yeah, for those of you that aren't, I haven't been around since the beginning of time with this fucking show, like I feel some of you have been. Slick Rick was one of our earliest Patreons, very well liked in the community, very positive. You actually can hear him on the Resident Evil Code Veronica episode. Always donated to our charity drives, was so kind to me and supported the show, and just was very well liked in our Discord, constantly a face in the Among Us games and the chats and everything. And unfortunately, we lost him far too early. He passed away, about a year ago now, I think. Crazy, maybe a little longer than that even. But he was just a beauty, and I liked him, and I know everyone in the community liked him, so that's why at the beginning of every batch of shout-outs, we tip our proverbial caps to the always apologetic. I always used to joke, he was an American, and I always used to joke he apologized more than Canadians. Like, that guy apologized for everything, but he was an absolute beauty, and the first official inductee in Remember the Game Hall of Fame is my boy Slick Motherfucking Rick. So that's the story behind his never-ending shout-out at the beginning or the end of every episode. Legend of Windermere, patron of time, said, "The kids and I are getting a PlayStation 5 for Christmas. We've primarily been on the Switch the last few years. What are your PS5 essentials for us to play?" Patron of time, I'm not sure how old your kids are, but I'm going to assume you're looking for something that would be family-friendly and available to everyone. Number one, 100% Astrobot. Even if you don't have kids, or even if your kids are older, or even if your kids hate video games, if you have a PlayStation 5, period, you need to play Astrobot. And if you've got kids to play it with, even better. Astrobot would be my number one for sure. And then I'd recommend the Spider-Man games. If you haven't played them, they are very, very good. And Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is a very, very good PS5 game. If you're playing it with your kids as well, those would probably be my top 3. Astrobot is far and away number 1, though. Last year's recipient of the Molly for Game of the Year and my personal Game of the Year. Astrobot is, quite possibly the best platformer not made by Nintendo I've ever played in my life. It's must play. So fucking good. So fucking good. Nintendo's legal team said, legalities and morality of emulation aside, have you tried playing a retro game at an increased speed using an emulator? I listened to the Final Fantasy VII Remake review on Expansion Pass after having already played Final Fantasy VII Remake, but before playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I decided to take your advice to play the original before continuing on as I'd never played it. I wanted to get through the OG quicker and found that speeding the game up to 2 to 3 times the original speed made the game much more enjoyable. Not really, but it's mostly, like, I get a lot of people that suggest emulating and using emulators and stuff, and I'm not going to say I never do it. I do it. But I like to play games in their OG form as much as possible when I'm getting ready to play them for the show, because I just think it gives me, it's like a Nintendo 64 game. Even though I don't like that controller, if I can, I'm going to play with a Nintendo 64 controller and that kind of stuff, because I like to give them the full experience. You know, it's like just that they were meant to be played. Sorry if you guys can hear Millie barking in the background. It's fucking, you want to talk about someone that's not getting into the Hall of Fame any fucking time soon. It's our poop-eating, trash can rating CEO, the little fuck. I love her, though. But yeah, so no, I haven't really. I will say, though, when I played Final Fantasy VIII, for example, for the show, I bought the new version that had, like, speeded up and everything, and that does make a nice difference. So if there's like if it's basically all the same, but I have the option to turn that kind of stuff on once in a while, but I don't often find it to be too slow. I do agree, though, if you're gonna do it, like, classic RPGs are the way to go, and those pixel remasters and stuff where you can speed them up, turn off encounters and everything. Mwah. Some would say it's cheating. I say it's quality of life, my friends. Quality of life. So do it. I'm also curious. Let me know, legal team, what'd you think of Final Fantasy VII? I'm always, like, for those of us that grew up when Final Fantasy VII, like, played it back when it dropped, it was a pretty monumental game. But I'm always curious what people that are playing it for the first time in, like, 2025 think of it. So let me know. Bryce Joel said, Adam, I know you don't have time for the Final Fantasy Tactics right now, but have you looked into the recent remaster? It is very sick. They added voice acting, and good God, dude, it's actually incredible voice acting, and especially cool when it comes to hearing the Lucavi monster voices. Plus, there's a fast forward feature during battles that makes the whole thing extra tolerable. I didn't get to play it growing up, but I watched my brother do it, and now I finally have the opportunity, and I am loving it. I do want to play it. That one's stuck in the backlog from hell, Bryce. I'm just going to say, like, it's pretty far down the backlog from hell, just because I did play it a couple years ago, the OG, the first time for the show. And I'm like, I love that game. And if I had nothing else, like, if I didn't have to get to games for the podcast, I would have already played the remaster. I just, like, I know it's a pretty meaty hour time sink. And I'm like, I just don't really, like, I'm trying to get through Ghost of Yotei. I'm trying to get through Silent Hill F. I'm trying to get through games for the pod. I'm hooked on Arc Raiders somehow, for fuck's sakes. So it's good. It's definitely in the someday pile, but it is in the someday pile. I don't see myself playing it anytime soon, but I want to. It's not its fault. There's just too many games. There's too many games. A pain we all know these days. My God. Aeroslonic said, Mega Man question here. If Blank Man was a robot master you had to fight in the new Mega Man game, what would he look like, and what power would he have, and what would his level be like? So I actually did give this a little bit of thought, and I like the idea of Blank Man looking like a knockoff Mega Man. Like, I want him to look like a Mega Man made out of spare parts, and I want his level to be like a factory or a warehouse or something where he was obsessed with Mega Man. You see, like, old Mega Man, like armor laying around. I want, like, pictures of him hanging on the wall, like little video clips of him from all the previous games, and, like, blueprints of him. Like, I want it to just be like some dude that was just obsessed with Mega Man over the years, obsessed with him. And so then when you go to fight him, it's actually just like a crappy robot with, like, handmade Mega Man looking armor on him. But then your ability is the blank crash, because I'm Blank Man. And the blank crash is when you shoot somebody, they, like, power down for a second, and then you get a second to shoot them with the regular Mega Buster. And the reason they shut down for a second is because I don't know how to program robots to do anything. So that's the blank crash. And then when Mega Man beats you, he gets the blank crash, and then he can shoot any enemy, and they just, like, go, like, powered down for a second, and then he can shoot them with his regular Buster. I've given it some thought. I'd make a good robot master. Blank Man. I like it. And for the record, yes, I did see the announcement of Mega Man Dual Overdrive. I covered it on Game Patch. Cannot fucking wait. My two most anticipated games moving forward are Resident Evil Requiem and the new Mega Man. I am so fucking excited that they announced the new Mega Man. Oh my God. I can't believe it happened. Dude, within like a 6-month span, we got Hollow Knight Silksong, Metroid Prime 4, and a new Mega Man game. Hell hath frozen over, friends. Frozen over. Holy shit. Board license plates said, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, Sir Blankenstein. In the spirit of the holiday season, give us an elevator pitch for a Christmas-based video game. It could be an existing IP or something new. I think a Home Alone survival horror game could be fun, or a Kingdom Hearts-esque adventure RPG with Christmas characters. What do you think? Actually, those would both work. I'd be down. If you're giving me an elevator ride of a pitch, I'm pitching Santa Claus Simulator. There's like Power Wash Simulator, there's Surgeon Simulator, there's Simulating Simulator, there's a simulator for everything. So Santa Claus Simulator, where you play from his point of view, and each house you need to figure out how to get into the house, get the presents there, avoid dogs, avoid fires in the fireplace, all that kind of stuff. Make sure you have the right presents and all that kind of thing, and then you're flying and avoiding like planes and things. Santa Claus Simulator, like first person view, like Power Wash Simulator. I'd play the shit out of that. Sounds fun. And before, actually, I should say, I said I'd play the shit out of that. If that actually exists, because it might, I'm not actually going to play it. Just because I know if it does exist, people will be like, hey, you said you'd play it. So I'm not actually going to play it. But in theory, I would play the shit out of that. Chode Jeans said, hey, Adam, as a fellow Sopranos lover, I'm curious if you've got a favorite quote from the show. I'm partial to Tony telling Bobby Bacala to shove his quotation book up his fat fucking ass. Thanks, man. Keep up the great work. Love the pods. I do love Sopranos. My favorite Sopranos quote is Furio on the golf course with the doctor, and he's like, stupid a fucking game. And they're just talking about golf, because I do hate golf. So it is a stupid a fucking game. That is my favorite quote, 100%. God, I love Sopranos. Michael Korneski said, what's up, Adam? First time, letter time, contributor here. Easy for me to say. Contributor here. The Sly Cooper series is one of my all-time favorites, and I just went back and listened to the RTG episode that I somehow missed. I seem to have very similar tastes in platformers than you, and I was wondering what some of your favorite older platformers are that many of us who grew up on the NES and Genesis might have missed. Cheers, Mike. So I actually had to think about this one for a minute, because I was like, everybody knows the big platformers, the Marios, the Sonics, all that kind of stuff. So you specifically mentioned the NES and the Genesis. So I will say, on the Sega Genesis, Rocket Knight Adventure, I don't know if it's Adventure or Adventures. There is an episode about that in the archives. That game fucking owns. That is a lot of people recommend Quackshot, and a lot of people recommend Dynamite Heady. I can't speak to them because I haven't played them. I want to. I haven't yet. But I will highly recommend Rocket Knight Adventures. That game's awesome. And while it's as much of an action game as it is a platformer, Shinobi 3 is fucking sick. And then on the NES, for a couple of lesser known games, Little Samson is a really good platformer, and Little Nemo the Dream Master, which we do have an episode on, is a very good game. I highly recommend emulating Little Samson, unless you've got, if you've got fucking, I was trying to think of what's the, if you, it sounds like podcaster money, but podcaster money's not. If you have surgeon money, then buy yourself a copy of Little Samson. Otherwise, emulate it. But those are my two picks for the NES. And then finally, before we move on, it's letter time. Hoolie's Pet Dinosaur said, hey, Adam. So I know how much you hate when we bring up things you've said in the past, but hear me out. On the GTA San Andreas episode, you said if Ecco gets a new game or a remake, that you'll create a new Patreon tier that is $50 a month and will stream you playing the game. So my very long-winded question is, what do you name this new tier? You guys do call me out on a lot of the shit I say in old episodes, and what I say comes out of my mouth, and I've forgotten it by the time I move on to the next segment. I just ramble. I can't be expected to be held responsible for everything I say. That said, I will not create a new $50 tier, but I will stick to my word. If the new Ecco game ever does release, I will play it, and I'll probably stream at least some of it, and we'll hopefully get some laughs out of it. There's no way I'm not going to play that game. So I will do it, but I won't charge people $50. If you had to pay $50 to watch me play Ecco the Dolphin, I would call that tier the sucker tier. The straight up sucker tier, because you are a sucker. If I could swindle you into charging or to paying me $50 to watch me play Ecco the Dolphin, my God, I wouldn't pay me $50 for anything. Anything. Especially not Ecco the Dolphin. But you are calling me out. I will play some Ecco the Dolphin. When and if that new game drops, I will play it. I promise. Y'all can hold me to it. Remember the game 300 58. I said it. You can hold me to it. Okay, we got to keep the ball rolling. All right, we got 2 more segments to get to before we get into some Donkey Kong Country talk. So let's switch things up and get to our Smash Hit segment, the official game show. Remember the Game Industries. Play one, remake one, erase one. And a huge thank you to Classic Concentration from the NES for unknowingly providing us with the theme music for the show. The rules are simple. Every week I give our Patreons 3 retro video games. They can play one as it was released, remake one as a modern game, and the third is erased from time forever. And as always, there are no wrong answers, but there is a right one. We'll get to that in just a minute. This week we're talking Donkey Kong Country, so I went with 3 retro games from the nerds over at Rare. We got Battletoads and Battle Maniacs. We got Blast Corps. I'll never say it the correct way. It's spelled corpse. I don't give a fuck. That's what I'm saying. And Killer Instinct. And 29% of you said you would play Battle Maniacs, remake Blast Corps, and erase Killer Instinct. So let's see what a few of you had to say here, and then I'll tell you what the right answer was. Smith said, I'd play Battletoads. You don't mess with a classic. I'd remake Blast Corps. It was a fun game, but started with a deficit on the Nintendo 64. Let's revive the idea, mix with modern gameplay mechanics and a controller and let it cook. And erase Killer Instinct. It was a fun fighter, but between Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, the only thing that set it apart was the combo system, which was meh, and Orchid's boobs, which were pointier than Lara Croft's triangles. I like that. See, that's the kind of deep thinking we get here at Remember the Game. Which triangle boobs were more triangular? That is how you decide on your erase. I respect that. Frank Hutz said, play Killer Instinct because I have great memories of hanging out at the movie theater and playing it on an arcade. A coin-op. I assume that's an arcade. I've never heard something called a coin-op. I don't know. Anyway. Remake Battletoads because they fucking deserve it. Erase Blast Corps because what even is that? Get out of here. Your name is Frank and you've never heard of Blast Corps? Oh, bullshit. Bullshit. I mean, I don't know what it is. I've never played it. I think you destroy buildings or something, but I've never, yeah. Anyways. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Kevin Obi said, play Blast Corps because I never have and it sounds fun. Erase Battle Maniacs because we have other Battletoads games. Remake Killer Instinct because I used to play this all the time in the arcade and I love the characters with new graphics and faster, smoother gameplay. This could be a fun, modern fighting game. You know, if they were to make like Killer Instinct 2026, if they made a Killer Instinct like next year, could that work? Like, do you think, like, is the fighting game market too crowded now, or could that work? I don't know. I'm not opposed to the idea. I like Killer Instinct. I don't know. It's interesting. Vic to the Face said, play Killer Instinct because it's as fun today as it was back then. Remake Blast Corps because it's such a unique game and I'd love to see it get more love. Erase Battle Maniacs because Battletoads games nearly put me in cardiac arrest, so erasing it is probably good for my physical health. If you want to erase Battletoads because those games make you angry, I'm trying to beat the NES Battletoads right now, and that is a pain I know all too well. I can get on board with that. Andre said, play Battle Maniacs as that game is practically perfect. Remake Killer Instinct just to give it an update, amazing fighting game, and some cool ass stuff happen. And erase Blast Corps because that game is just dumb. Really, really dumb. I hate it. Dumb. That reminded me of the South Park. The dumb, 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 dumb. That's good shit. Shout out South Park. I love South Park. 13% of you got it right this week. 13% of you had the correct order. That's the one I'm going with, as did Quick Guns, who said, play Blast Corps because I never played it before and I want to try it. Remake Battle Maniacs for newer graphics and an easier difficulty level, and erase Killer Instinct. It's tough to get rid of, but I'm playing by the rules. And that's part of the reason you got red, Quick Guns, because you played by the rules. I am also going to play Blast Corps because it is the only one I haven't played of these 3, and I'm interested. I've been interested in that one for quite a while. I got to play that one. My brother used to play it a lot. I got to see what the story is there. And then I was very torn on the remake. But I'm going to remake Battletoads and Battle Maniacs because I really do love that game. And I'd remake it, add more levels, maybe give it difficulty side. The Battletoads that came out 4 or 5 years ago gets no love. That's a good fucking game. But I'd like to see this one remade. So I'm going to remake Battletoads and Battle Maniacs. And then I'm going to erase Killer Instinct. I do like Killer Instinct. Probably one of my favorite fighting games. But at the end of the day, I do in fact suck at fighting games. I just really just suck a lot of ass. All the ass. And there's not a character. Well, there's a couple of characters in Killer Instinct whose asses, maybe, but not the skeleton or the wolf. That's not, no. So I'm erasing Killer Instinct. Anyways, thank you everybody that wrote in and played along as always. What have I been playing over the last week? And then it's Donkey Kong Country talk. I did a replay of Donkey Kong Country to get rid of this episode. I played it in like 3 hours while I was watching football. It was fucking awesome. I'm still playing a lot of Ghost of Yotei. It is spectacular. I'm still playing Super Mario World Second Reality Project, that ROM hack. I've been playing it on my pre-streams. I'm beating about a level an hour right now. I'm near the end and it is getting fucking vicious, but it's really fun. I just finished a playthrough of BioShock 2 yesterday. Spoiler, that's going to be Remember the Game 360 on New Year's Eve. I'm playing Simpsons Skateboarding against my fucking better judgment because that might be the worst game I've ever played. No exaggeration. It is an abomination. That is going to be next week's Remember the Game, going live on Christmas Eve or Christmas Eve, whatever the next Wednesday is. And then I don't know how, but I fell into Arc Raiders. Everyone kept telling me it was really fun. I didn't like Call of Duty this year. I was like, I've never played an extraction shooter. Let's try it. I only played about an hour a day, so I'm not very good. I don't have a lot of gear yet, but it's really fun. It is a really fun game. And I've only been killed a couple of times, and I've met some really nice people that have helped me. So Arc Raiders, it's fucking pretty neat. It's one of my resolutions for the new year is to try games I wouldn't try before, and Arc Raiders is one of them. And it has opened my good eye to the world of what are they? I was like Expedition, Exclusion. What are they called? Extraction shooters. It's a cool fucking game. Anyway, that's it. That's what I've been playing. Okay, here's what's going to happen. We're going to pause. We're going to let a sponsor in. They're going to do their thing when we get back. It's Donkey Kong Country Talk. As you all know, I like to put old commercials in here now before the ads. Dude, I looked everywhere for Donkey Kong Country commercials, and there's lots of them, but hardly any of them have words. At least the North American ones. Like, they're just music and text on the screen. Some of them even take shots at Sega, which was cool, but they don't say anything. So I did my best to find an ad. Enjoy this, then a regular ad, then we're talking Donkey Kong Country. Okay, remember the game will return after these messages.
A British-based company called Rare Limited developed a unique and highly advanced technology called ACM. That's Advanced Computer Modeling. Specifically for our upcoming Donkey Kong Country game, which debuts for the Super NES November 21st. It features superior, never-before-seen 3D graphics and unbelievable photorealism, all rendered on advanced SGI computer workstations. These same workstations used to create the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park and the awesome morphing effects in Terminator 2. We're talking 32 meg, three-dimensional animation and computerized character models. It's never been done before for a video game. You're gonna freak!
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's the holiday season, and most of us have some kind of traditions this time of year. The routine get-togethers and parties. Maybe you're one of those families that opens a present on Christmas Eve. I was always so jealous of my friends that were in those families. Having those long-standing traditions is great, and starting new ones can be just as awesome. We all focus on making sure our loved ones enjoy the holidays, but it's important to look out for yourself during the busiest time of the year as well. Therapy can be a great way to do just that, and maybe it's time to start a new tradition of looking after yourself and your mental health. BetterHelp can make that a reality, and their flexible scheduling ensures you'll be able to fit them in around everything else you have going on in December. You can meet with your BetterHelp therapist online when and how it works best for you. And if it's not a fit, you can switch to another one of BetterHelp's over 30,000 therapists anytime for no additional charge. BetterHelp has helped over 5 million people around the world take the therapy plunge, and they have a 4.9 out of 5 rating for live sessions to back them up across 1.5 million reviews. This December, start a new tradition by taking care of you. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/rememberthegame. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rememberthegame. All right, let's talk some Donkey Kong Country. As always, I like to let you nerds sound off on the game we're covering before my guest and I hog the microphone. And as you probably don't fail to believe, there were a few people that wanted to weigh in on the Donkey Kong Country, so let's see what some of you had to say. Carmen Sider said, definitely one of the best Super Nintendo games with fantastic music, fantastic atmosphere, fantastic level design, and fantastic visuals for its time. What I really love about this game is that it can be challenging in some levels, but at the same time, the game itself is not overly difficult. It gives me the sense of a bit of challenge, and as I get older, I find that I just want to relax and enjoy my games and not feel like a chore, or I'm trying to make a big achievement when I beat my games. Not everything has to be Dark Souls level of difficulty these days. You know, it's funny. When I was replaying this a week or so ago to get ready for this episode, I found because I like Donkey Kong Country's got some bite, but it's not Dark Souls. It's not Mega Man. It's not like the hardest game you've ever played. But some sessions I feed this game its lunch, and then some sessions I just get stuck on a level where it just wrecks me, and I'm like, boy, this is really hard. And I don't like. And it'll be different levels. Like it's just there's one level that gives me a lot of trouble. Is it swimming in the toxic sea? I hate that fucking level. But other than that, like, yeah, it is just the right amount of challenge. I guess I agree with that. That's what I'm trying to say. I agree. Saskatoonian. So my brother-in-law and I have a standing tradition every time we visit one another that we play through a competitive round of Donkey Kong Country. We're matched in skills, so it typically comes down to who makes the odd mistake here and there. A true highlight of every holiday season. That's nice. I like that. My brother and I could never do that because I was a lot better at video games than him. I don't give a fuck. He'll admit it. I was. He sucked. Well, not at everything. He was pretty good at like Golden. He was fucking wizard at GoldenEye, but I'd fucking massacre him at Donkey Kong Country. I'd slaughter him at Donkey Kong Country. It reminds me of Krusty. That's what I was trying to do there. Well, Krusty was talking about all the different shows he's beat in the ratings, and like, don't forget the Special Olympics. Oh yeah, I slaughtered the Special Olympics. That's good shit. Remember D's Nuts said, I remember playing this at my babysitter's house when I was a kid, but I never owned a copy until my buddy and I were on a long work project in Saskatoon, and I bought a Super Nintendo and this game from a guy on Kijiji, and we spent every evening of the whole 10-day shift playing it in my hotel room. We'd even rush back to the hotel at lunch to get 20 minutes in. First time I actually beat it, good times. See, everybody loves Donkey Kong Country. Or you have no soul. That's the two options. That's it. Show Me Potato Salad said this is one of the greatest platformers of all time. The gameplay still stands up today and the music is fantastic. This is one of the first games I used to introduce my kids to video games. So you're a good fucking parent right there, Potato Salad. Those little taters. That's what I imagine your kids are. If you're a potato salad, that's good parenting. Count Chonkula said, blew my mind as a kid when I first saw this game. The gameplay is on point and the game has high replay value. Visuals are beyond what other Super Nintendo games at the time could muster. The soundtrack is utter perfection. Need I say more? You needn't. I'll still argue the Donkey Kong Country trilogy are the best looking games on the Super Nintendo. I know some will argue with me, but I don't care. I think they're the best looking trilogy on the Super Nintendo. Phil Kirby said Donkey Kong Country is why I love the SNES. I just replayed it again for my annual run and it hits me right in the nostalgia every time. From the minecarts to the barrels, it always keeps me coming back. I would say, because I agree, I think Mario World and Super Punch-Out are probably the only Super Nintendo games I've played more than Donkey Kong Country. Like, this is just such a staple in my resume, in my repertoire. I go back to it all the time. It's an absolute gem, and it's time to talk about it. You all know it's great. I know it's great, but we still have to talk about it because that's why we're fucking here. So I'm going to queue up some Donkey Kong Country music, and when it stops, Captain and I are talking DKC, which originally released on the SNES in NA on November 21st, 1994. Enjoy the episode, everybody. Here we go. All right, joining me via the blank phone this week to talk a bona fide classic. And I feel like it's back-to-back, because last week we did Batman Arkham City, which is an absolute masterpiece. And this week we're talking Donkey Kong Country, which is even maybe more of a masterpiece. I love this game. Joining me to talk Donkey Kong Country is the donkey to my Diddy, my buddy Captain N from Retrotopia. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, it's not going too bad, Adam. Thanks for having me again.
Always. I don't like most people, and I tolerate you. So I'm like, you're welcome on the show anytime. Yeah, you don't aggravate me like most of society does. So
hey, that's a step up.
Yeah. So you're welcome here. Especially when, like, I'll be honest, like when we talk a game like Donkey Kong Country, I assume practically every one of my guests could come on and talk about this, and so I always feel bad picking somebody. Because these are one of those games that everyone's like, I'll fucking talk about that. So I was looking at the roster and I'm like, fuck, who hasn't been on in a while? And I was like, plus you host the retro show, so you know about the retro. You get retro.
I've played a retro game or two in my life.
Yeah, we're both old souls. We can talk some Donkey Kong. This game, buddy, I just did a replay of this game in about 3 hours while I was watching the Broncos destroy the Raiders yesterday. And I guess by the time you all are hearing this, it was a week and a half ago. We're recording this on December 8th. So it was a week and a half ago. And one of the common questions I get is like, what are your Christmas games? Like, it's something people want us to do for an expansion pass for a while. And I don't really have any answers because I'm like, I don't know. Like, I got lots of games for Christmas and we would play them. But I realized yesterday while I was playing this, like, this is my Christmas game because I remember getting this for Christmas and just playing it all day. It was like, it might have been probably top 3 Christmas of my life was just playing Donkey Kong Country all day.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I was going to say, like, we got our Super Nintendo on Christmas, so Super Mario World obviously is our Christmas game, but I'm pretty sure we got this like a Christmas or two after, so.
Same here.
I don't know,
Yeah.
it just feels very Christmassy for a game about the tropics and bananas.
It does. And the thing is, because we got our Super Nintendo for Christmas. Like, I've always said my favorite Christmas gift I ever got in my life was my Super Nintendo. But I don't think a Super Mario World is like a Christmas, just because I play Super Mario World probably once every 3 months. Like, I play it all. It's like watching classic Simpsons. Like, I do it just for the sake of doing something. I love that game. Whereas Donkey Kong Country, I fire up, probably once a year, once every couple of years. But every time I was playing it yesterday, it was like snowing a little bit. It's cold outside. It's December. The Christmas tree is up. And it just reminded me of getting it for Christmas that year. And dude, I know a lot of our younger listeners weren't around when this game came out, but you were, I was like,
Oh
this
god.
this was a big fucking deal when this game came out.
Oh yeah, just simply because of the 3D like art to it. If you had Nintendo Power, that's what they were talking about, was like it's actually 3D models on a 16-bit console. And for the time, I mean, considering the PlayStation came out during the Super Nintendo's life, this game was absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Like, it was just unbelievably like, oh, how the hell do they do this? Like, you just couldn't figure it out. Your tiny little, young mind just couldn't wrap your head around that third dimension. But
Yeah. And they were, like you said, you're right. Like Nintendo Power stuff, like they were pushing this game, fucking hard. Probably as hard as they pushed any platformer outside of Super Mario World itself. And I agree with you. Like, it's just, even right now, playing it. Yes, I was playing it on my Switch yesterday, and like even just playing it yesterday, and I was like, this game, I've seen arguments that the graphics don't hold up, and I just can't disagree more. I still think it
no,
looks so good.
like I played it on like my Nintendo Switch's online account expired and I haven't renewed it yet, so I played a emulated version of this, and you can put a CRT filter on. And when you put that CRT filter, get its original look to it, it is still gorgeous. I don't think there's a better looking Super Nintendo game. And I know, like, you could have the argument of Super Mario World and all that, but I still think this is probably, if not one of the best looking games on the Super Nintendo. It holds up today.
I agree. I think the trilogy, like I think the entire Donkey Kong Country trilogy are I mean, I'm a simp for those, like, like the Final Fantasy, Earthbound. Everybody from that era loves those pixel, like, those 2D RPGs and stuff, and all that. Like, and Yoshi's Island is a good looking game and stuff. But I agree. I think these are the best looking. I think this is the best looking trilogy on the SNES. It's remarkable, and we're gonna get into the rest of it. But it's if it was just the graphics, you would look at it and be like, wow, like that's you. I'm looking at a still image of Donkey Kong Country right now, just a still image of it. And it's like, that's on the same console 3 years later as Super Mario World. And I love Super Mario World, in case you didn't know, listeners. I'm kind of a fan of that game.
I've never heard you say that.
I know, it's like it's my dark secret. I'm a Super Mario World fan. But like, granted, this came out 3 years later, but it's like, it's hard to believe those two games are on the same system.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, I was paying attention to it when I was giving it a quick playthrough, and I was really starting to notice things I just never noticed or never paid attention to a long time ago, which is like the amount of detail in the background and how everything, like how it looks as realistic as you possibly can. Like, even the stacks of bananas in there and all that, they look really, really good for a 16-bit console. Like, this console should, in theory, not be able to do this because it's just so underpowered compared to like the PlayStation or even the often not talked about Sega Saturn. It's amazing that they're able to pull this off,
dude. Even when you look at, and I know this is my Nintendo fanboyism showing, but even like, I'm trying to, like, if you look at take like the PlayStation, because the PlayStation 1 is obviously a vastly superior or more powerful console than the Super Nintendo. Superior, I disagree, but vastly more powerful. I'd agree, console in its own right. But you look at a 2D you look at a Crash Bandicoot, which I know is not fully 2D, but look at a Crash Bandicoot. Look at Rayman on the PS1. Mega Man, like Mega Man X8, or Mega Man 8 on the PS1. Like, you look at some platformers or some side scrollers from the PlayStation 1, and I will make the argument that this looks better than those. And this is a game from this is like an early half Super Nintendo game. I'm in awe of how, and then the graphics aside, because I agree with you, the graphics are great. The background, dude, I noticed some backgrounds yesterday. The ones where the sun's going down and it's like bright orange
Yes.
behind you, those are the ones that really get me.
Yeah,
Where I'm
that
like,
day-night
wow.
cycle, I for some reason I never remembered it, but playing the game again, when you go through the levels and all of a sudden it starts getting dark, and then the next level it's raining, and then at the end of the level the sun comes out, like that's just brilliant game design and really immerses you into that environment.
Yeah, yeah, it really does. And then, because I'm not normally a graphics guy, like if a game has good graphics, I'll praise it. But what matters to me is how fun it is. And even if you take the great way Donkey Kong Country looks out of the equation, there is just a remarkable platformer in here. And it's not just that it's a great platformer, but you have to keep in mind, again, for I don't mean to sound like old man yells at the cloud, but for like those of you that weren't around back then, like this was a reinventing of the Donkey Kong series.
Yeah.
This is brand new, fucking starting from scratch, other than the fact that like Cranky is the old Donkey Kong, and now this is Donkey Kong. But
Yeah.
like this is Diddy's premiere, brand new character, right? Like Funky's a brand new character, Candy's a brand new character. I think K. Rool was a brand new character. I believe this was K. Rool's debut, like the Kremlings. This was all so
Yeah.
like they're basically like starting from outside of the fact that you have the name Donkey Kong. Like you are doing everything differently. And if someone was to come to you and be like, Cap, we need you to make a new Donkey Kong game, would your first thought not be to just try to come up with a modern version of the arcade game?
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much. Like before this, Donkey Kong was running up scaffolding as
yeah,
Mario, or sorry, Jumpman.
yeah, exactly. And now they're like, no, we're just going to redesign it from the ground up. We're going to introduce a
No,
new sidekick who is arguably more popular than Donkey Kong. I
I
like
was
Diddy more.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. You remember when Nintendo came out a few weeks ago and said something along the lines of "We just build a game and then slap an IP on it"? I wonder
Yeah.
if that was still happening in this era, if that was happening originally in this era. I wonder if this could have been like a Mario game or a Kirby game or some crap like that, and they just decided to use Donkey Kong.
Well, I very rarely do the whole like, history lessons. That's what we talk about, right? But like most know, this game was made by Rare, right? Like it was
Oh yeah, yeah,
and it was one of the rare, like no pun intended, but it was like a rare time when Nintendo was like, all right, we'll let our IP go to somebody else. And here's what comes of it. Like you get the up to this point the greatest Donkey Kong game of all time. Uh I will argue this was followed by Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Kong Quest, which is the greatest Donkey Kong game of all time, even though it doesn't feature Donkey Kong. But that's
yeah.
that point aside. And it's remarkable that somebody else was able to like completely facelift this game and make a whole new IP out of it that now Nintendo runs with, right? Like I know that Donkey Kong Bonanza is arguably a new era of Donkey Kong and a new facelift, but still like Rare was like, hey, look at what we could do with your fucking IP. And Nintendo was like, go with it. And it just, I don't mean to jump ahead to the end of the episode, but it just makes me like long for an era where somebody would go to Nintendo with an idea for Punch Out or Star Fox or F-Zero or like one of these other IPs and be like, look what we could do with it. They don't all have to be Mario and Zelda and Kirby.
Yeah,
Like
they're
you have
lucky. They're lucky too. Rare was because nothing had been done with Donkey Kong. They really had carte blanche to really reinvent what Donkey Kong was and turning it into a side-scrolling platform with a big lugging oaf and his little tiny sidekick there. And I mean, you're right. They nailed it. Like
Yeah.
for me personally, I prefer this game over Donkey Kong Country 2 because I'm like one of the dissenters who think Diddy Kong's kind of annoying. But
Son of a bitch.
I know. That's why you
Fair
shouldn't
enough.
invite me on.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no, it's just like they had a blank canvas, and the only thing they had to do was make Donkey Kong a giant ape, and they didn't even have to worry about Mario. They can reinvent the enemies and stuff like that because their source material literally was, Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Now just let's go there because I'm about to praise Diddy because I adore that little bastard. Why is Diddy annoying? I'm just
I don't
curious.
know.
No wrong answers.
Maybe because when I was a kid, Donkey Kong was always the one that could jump on enemies, roll into them, and Diddy Kong would bounce off like the big helmeted guys.
Yeah.
I can't remember their names. And I always found that annoying because I just wanted to, jump through the level. So I'd always switch off to Donkey Kong. And I think it was just more personal preference rather than Diddy Kong's that annoying.
That's fair. See, that's fascinating to me because that's why I have such admiration for Diddy. because I prefer, and that's one of the great things about this game is that once again, they, even if you take the rest of this game as it stands, they could have just made it Donkey Kong. Like Donkey Kong is out to
Yeah.
get his bananas back from K. Rool. And that they introduced Diddy Kong is great because it's another marketable character. It's a character you have. It's like a sidekick for him. Like it's a Luigi, right? A player two, a little brother character. That's all fucking awesome. You could have made them play exactly the same. But I think that's one of the most brilliant and somewhat underlooked aspects of this game is that Donkey and Diddy control the same for the most part. Like Donkey's got the ground slam, but other than that, they control pretty much the same. Diddy cartwheels whereas Donkey somersaults, but they have those little nuances, right? Donkey Kong can jump on a couple of characters like the fat guys with the army helmets, the big blue steroid guys, and the armadillos when they roll up.
Yeah.
Whereas Diddy bounces off of them. And it's frustrating as Diddy, especially there's one minecart level near the end. Not minecart, but you're on like one of those carts that's on like the conveyor belt. And
Oh, yeah.
oh, it's so easy to land on one of those fat army guys and go into the hole and die again.
Yeah.
But Diddy Kong can run faster, which doesn't really matter, but he can make jumps that Donkey Kong can't make.
Yeah, that's
Like, he jumps
actually
a little higher.
Yeah, that's one thing I did notice. The times like you just got to get to the top of that tree there. You got to take Diddy, and he's the only one who can make it. Donkey Kong, like a giant, just 400-pound gorilla that can't hit the high jumps.
Yeah. And it's so, I really think it's quite remarkable that they were able to, in addition to trying to come up with a platformer that can rival Super Mario World from a quality perspective, which I believe this game absolutely does. In many ways, I think this is a superior game to Super Mario World. I just have more nostalgia for Mario World. But not only are you trying to come up with a platformer from the ground up, introduce all these new mechanics, establish this new character, this new version of Donkey Kong and everything like that, dude, I can't even imagine how difficult it must be to walk the line between making Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong feel different enough from each other that there's a reason to play as one and a reason to play as the other at different times, while not making it game breaking if you don't have both in all times.
Yeah. That
makes sense.
Never really thought about it that way. It's kind of an interesting take on it. I mean, you're right. Like they play the same in all their, like they jump, they can land on people, they can roll into people, and they both have their little action that they can do. But you're right. Yeah. Like Donkey Kong's ground slap, he can knock out barrels out of the ground in those spots you'd normally jump on. Diddy Kong's higher jumping, Donkey Kong's ability to jump on certain enemies. I guess I need to go back to the reflecting chair and really sit on this one. I've never really actually looked at it that way.
It's very impressive that they were able to make that work, and then obviously add in the fact that you get that invaluable second hit.
Yeah,
like when you've got both, one gets hit and you have the other one. I always loved the tag mechanic as well. And
that's good.
Yeah, and it's not just the fact that you can tag out to the other monkey anytime you want. I know it's a stupid little detail, but the animation of Donkey Kong turning around and extending his hand to Diddy, or Diddy just reaching both his hands back. I don't know why. I've always thought that was such a, like, I would just make them tag out for fun sometimes because I just thought it was so cool.
Oh yeah, the attention to detail and the importance of the tagging, because there's times where you got to jump between like two of those bees that you can't kill, and if you miss the jump, you're going to lose your character or die.
Yeah.
And having Diddy Kong there, who has a smaller profile, is always easier to get through them. So yeah, he does have his uses.
Yeah, there's almost like it's not as it's not the deep end of the pool deep, but there's even a bit of a layer of strategy to it. Like when I'm in an underwater level, I always switch to Donkey Kong so that if he dies, like you said, I have the smaller profile, the smaller hitbox Diddy as my solo monkey.
Yeah, because especially in the later levels.
Oh, buddy, that fucking, because we're going to work through some of the worlds, but when I was replaying it yesterday, that fucking one underwater level where it's like toxic in the factory.
Oh,
world,
yeah.
That level makes me fucking crazy. It's cheap. I don't give a fuck. It's cheap. But yeah, like, so there are times where I'm like, I'll hide Diddy. And so if I lose one, I've got the one that I would rather play as my solo. But then there's points where, like when you're on the level I was talking about earlier, where you're on this conveyor belt, kind of just going like various conveyor belts going through the sky. And I know it's going to drop some of the bigger Kremlings on me that Diddy Kong can't take out. I'll keep Donkey Kong as my guy in the back so that if I screw up, I know I've got my ace in the hole to get through those parts. And it's just, I mean, in case you haven't been able to tell from the last 17 minutes, like I'm a very big admirer of this game, but it's those little things. And I think those are what make it in a lot of ways a superior game to Super Mario World. I love Super Mario World, but Mario and Luigi play exactly the same, and they're Mario and Luigi, you know? There's and like, I guess the counteract to that is that you don't get any power-ups outside of your animal sidekicks in this one. But I like that. I think power-ups like, you know, something equivalent of like a flame, like a fire flower or something would have felt out of place in this game.
Yeah, that is very true. No, how do I say
Like it
this?
almost, it sounds so stupid to say, but this game almost feels more set in like reality.
Yeah,
In
and maybe that's
a
what I'm
weird way.
thinking there. Because yeah, like I'm outside of the ridiculousness of being able to hold your breath for 5 minutes and riding your certain animal friends. But yeah, Mario Brothers really is a very fantastical world that you go into, where this one kind of feels like you're just an ape in the jungle
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
or
So
ape
I
in
don't
the
know.
industrial waste plant.
Yeah. So I just I admire that. I love the way the two of them play. The one thing, and they introduced this more in 2 and 3, and I wish one had it. I wish there was a way to like use each other. Like if Donkey Kong could like throw Diddy Kong up in the air, maybe Diddy Kong could roll Donkey Kong. Like they introduced that in future games. It would have been cool if they'd put that in this. Like I'm nitpicking,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Well, that's why we have sequels, is to have better gameplay.
yeah, because I like that would have been nice. And then I like to get the negatives out of the way. I think my only criticism of Donkey Kong Country, and it's gonna sound odd coming from someone that hates boss fights, but like the boss fights in this game are pretty shit.
Yeah,
Like,
they're kind of rinse and repeat because you go through the same types of bosses a few times.
yeah, like you fight the beaver twice, you fight the bird twice,
You fight the
and like
bee twice.
the bee, and like they're basically just hit them, 5 times, and every time you hit them, they do a stupid animation, and then their attack gets a little bit faster, and like that bird. I don't know. I feel like it's very half-assed because they only even it's just his head.
Yeah,
Like he doesn't even come in.
that's like they ran out of room on the cartridge, but they still needed one boss left, so they just phoned it in with a head.
Yeah, that
That's
is what
like
it
Dumb
feels
Drum,
like.
the barrel there. That one feels phoned in. All it does is drop regular enemies, and you just have to kill the regular enemies, and the
Oh,
barrel blows up.
it's so lame. You literally just fight enemies and then the barrel explodes. What a crappy boss. That's the like for my money, that's the best world in the game is the factory, but that's the worst boss.
Yeah, I
That
just
barrel's ass.
like I like the fight with King K. Rool there. I really enjoy that one, especially with the false ending. And I know big spoilers for a game made in '93 or '94, but
Yeah.
uh, yeah, when you beat him twice, all of a sudden it starts rolling credits there, and then all the like graphic designer and all that are like the what are they called
The Kremlings.
the Kremlings. Thank you,
Yeah.
jeez.
I like
And
that
then
too.
yeah, it comes back there. That was good. That was a really good way to end the game.
I agree. Like the boss fights leading up to K. Rool are garbage, but
Oh
then
yeah,
fighting K. Rool on the pirate ship, and I love that music, and I love how
yeah.
big
When
the
that
screen
music
is.
hits,
Oh, it's so good. And then like it feels like an epic conclusion, and this guy is huge, and I love that he's got more space to move around in and everything. And then like you said, the fall, like you beat him, and you're just like, that's it. Like that was. And then yeah, if you're observing it all, the credits start to roll and they're all fake credits. You're like, what the fuck? And then he wakes up angry and you have to fight him one more time. I love that ending as well. He's such a great final boss, but some of the other bosses, and that's something they very much improve in future Donkey Kong games. But for as spectacular as the platforming and the levels are, the bosses really suck. Like they're
yeah.
super easy and they're boring.
For if you're going to go with the negative thing, the one thing I find really negative about this game, and again, it's nitpicking, is the fact that most of your save, like you only get one save point per world, and it's usually, partway through or in the middle. So if you just want to do like a casual 10-15 minute run, you can't. You have to go through like 3 or 4 levels before you find candy. Or you have to unlock Funky Kong so you can go back a level and save there.
Yeah, I
That,
agree. And
that,
like, yeah, sorry,
that more
continue.
annoys me than it breaks the game. But save states is like not really an issue anymore. But originally, there, if mom and dad yell at you that you're leaving and turn off the goddamn Super Nintendo, and you can't just run to a save point. You have to do a little finagling, or you had to.
Yeah, I agree. And like, and I feel like that was kind of like an artificial way for them to extend the length of the game. But I didn't care for it because you're right. Your parents would be yelling at you to go to bed or go to school or we're going somewhere, and you're like, "Fuck, I haven't found candy." Especially, you know what the most annoying thing is when you can see Candy's stand on the map, and you're
Oh
just like, "I just gotta get to her, and then I can save." And it's so annoying. I like it would have been so much nicer if that was at the beginning of every world. Like as
yeah,
soon as you get to a world, Candy's there and you can save.
or at least you didn't have to find Funky to go back a world. You could just walk out the beginning of the level and then you can just go save a you know on the world
Agreed.
map or something. I have no idea.
Dude, I gotta say, like, because one of the things I have written down to talk about here are the other Kongs. Funky Kong, I'm a funky, like, I think the character is awesome. I used to like him in the old. Did you ever watch the old animated
Yes, I
Donkey
did.
Kong
Oh
cartoons?
yeah.
Like, I like Funky Kong, but he is a useless sack of shit in this fucking game.
Yeah, like
Like,
I said, outside of jumping into his little barrel plane to go save in the world before, yeah, there's no point to him.
no, you could have just as easily, like you said, just let us go back and go to the overworld and go back instead of fucking having to wait till you find this stupid stoner Kong. And then you get the cool music when you're in his plane. But like Funky Kong, every other Kong, like Diddy Kong, I think we've already talked about. He brings a ton to the table.
Yeah.
Like he's awesome. Cranky Kong, dude, Cranky Kong is my favorite Kong, other than Dixie. Dixie is the best Kong. And then Cranky, because Cranky Kong's a fucking legend. Because that is the OG Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
And he's just a miserable old fuck now. And I love that every time you come across him, he offers you a couple of hints on where to find like a secret bonus world or something.
Yeah, that's makes worthwhile stopping by Cranky Kong's shack there as you find him. Other than that, like that's another thing I love about the game, and I know we're going to get into in a second, is how much there is to explore inside of the worlds, like how many secrets, and you can almost feel where they are.
Yeah.
But
They're
with
very
Cranky-
well placed.
Yeah, with Cranky there, he gives you the hint there, and you get to go back a little bit and re-explore a world because you missed something now.
Yeah, and truth be told, like as a kid, I would very rarely visit Cranky Kong for a tip on where to find a secret exit. I would just visit him because I thought it was funny the way that he would hit you with his cane while he was like barking at like what a useless sack of shit you are. Because I was a big Simpsons fan growing up. Again, secrets that maybe none of you knew, and I can hear Grandpa Simpson's voice like while Cranky's talking to you. And it just makes me laugh. Like, and he's just like, "You bumbling idiot." Like, all he does is insult you and call you a piece of shit. I could have done it much faster than you. Even after you beat the game, and he's like going on about how much faster he would have beat the game.
Yeah, we could have beaten the game in an hour, he says at the very end.
Yeah. I love Cranky Kong. And that they've kept him around all these years. He's such a endearing character to me. And then Candy Kong, she provides a save. I don't know.
Oh yeah, her only use in this entire thing is to provide a save and be sexy to Donkey Kong. I mean,
yeah. It's weird because like this game came out in 94, so I would have been like 11 years old. I'm like 11, 12, 13, playing Donkey Kong Country, and I'm like, I don't know how to feel about you. Because like I get your design, but you're also
what's
like
happening in my pants?
Yeah. Like it's like I was a big fan of Sonny in WWF, but I didn't know why. Like it was weird. So. But I do like that they've like invented this whole squad, and then obviously they expand it in the future iterations. Yeah. And I'll die on the hill that like I don't know. Dixie's always been my favorite. Like I think she's just the coolest. But Diddy and Donkey they make a good team. Like they just come across as bros.
I would really like it if they kind of explored Diddy's relationship to Donkey Kong, because obviously Donkey Kong is Cranky's son. Like he's the Donkey Kong from Donkey Kong Jr., I imagine.
I believe he is, yeah.
Yeah. So what's Diddy's relationship? Is he a younger brother, cousin, just some, kid that Donkey met in the jungle one day and, dragged on an adventure?
Yeah, like I remember reading because like again, to age ourselves, I used to read the instruction manuals to these. I am taking instruction manuals to school and like read those. You know what I mean? Like that, because I couldn't play the game, I'm going to read my instruction manuals and stuff like that. And if I'm not mistaken, like I remember him talking. I remember in the instruction book, they were just talking about how like Diddy was like his buddy and like Donkey. Like that's how the whole game starts. Is Donkey Kong put Diddy Kong in charge of protecting his bananas one night, and that was like going to be his like part of his training, is he was going to protect his bananas. And then the Kremlings came, took all the bananas and locked Diddy in a barrel. And that's why you have to break him out of the DK barrel.
Jesus.
because the Kremlings put them in it, which is a cool, because I got to say, that's another thing I really like about this game. I love the DK barrel. That's such a great way to power up, especially the way, like, it's such a tiny thing, but that you can hear whichever monkey is in it calling for help.
Yeah,
And
it
so
was
you know
pretty
when it's
cool.
close. Yeah.
Yeah, I popped up the game manual there online just to see. It's a 4-page story. Holy crap.
Oh, yeah. They went deep. Yeah.
I don't even remember it.
Deeper than any Mario story. Fucking.
Oh, yeah. One day
So-
Mario went to sleep and he woke up in another land, and that's your story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, I still want to talk about the various worlds, the secrets, the animals, the music we got to get to. So we'll let a sponsor in here now and let them peddle their wares, and then when we get back, we'll sing more of the praises of Donkey Kong Country. So remember, the game will return after these messages.
We believe there are 5 perpetrators. I've never seen anything like it. There's fruit everywhere. Look what they did to my taxi.
Donkey Kong is back in an adventure so big, it's taking the country by storm.
In reaction, the governor has called in additional troops.
We believe one of them looks like this.
They're just not civilized.
We are caution, as they are heavily armed with fruit.
I'd like to tell you the situation is under control, but it isn't.
This turbocharged game has better graphics, more moves, bigger bosses, huge worlds. It's so big we included an expansion pack to get it all in.
They didn't even tip me.
And now, this. Donkey Kong 64. And you thought insanity was crazy.
Heaven help us all.
Okay, so I already mentioned it before the break that the factory, like, I like the forest. I think the winter. I know some people don't like the snow levels. I personally am a big fan of the snow levels.
I'm not.
No,
But-
that's a common take though.
But that's the worlds I have the most difficulty on. So that's why I'm not a fan of them. But I do love the level that all the snow comes down and like really screws with your vision.
Yeah, I love that because that level feels like winter. Like
Yeah, you're in a snowstorm.
Yeah, and what's so brilliant about that level, I think that's one of the most the most iconic levels in the game are either the mine carts, just because they're the mine, like everyone knows the mine carts, or that first level in the winter world where when you start the game out, it's not even snowing. It's just like a nice snowy day.
And that's another part of like the environmental changes as you play through the levels of the game, which I found always really fun.
Yeah. And yeah, and then as it goes on, like it starts snowing a little bit, then more and more. And like you said, by the end of the game, when you're in that part where you're trying to blast yourself through I find that to be an incredibly difficult level where you're trying to blast yourself through all those barrels. And it is like a full blown fucking blizzard in front of you. And it's almost like half the screen is filled with these giant snowflakes.
Yeah.
I adore that level. I think it's so fucking well done.
That's the level I die the most on.
Me too. Other than maybe that toxic water one. Fucking
Yeah.
the one I die the most on is that. And I gotta say, dude, like I love the barrel sections. Like I think they're a staple of the series now.
Yeah, they're really neat. I really like how they implemented the barrels because it could have just been simply you shoot yourself out of one barrel, but the way they make them move, they tilt, they spin around, everything they do makes it feel like a unique experience every time you jump into a barrel.
Yeah.
In a level there.
And then the added, like, I love when they add the layers of there's like some of the barrels you get to tell it when it shoots you. Some of the barrels are auto shots, and then there'll be times where you need to like shoot yourself from one barrel into an auto shot barrel that is then going to auto shoot you into another barrel. And you need to time it right that you go from one to another to another without missing any of them.
Or two barrels that you get to shoot yourself out of are both going up and down, and you have to time it so you shoot yourself with a bit of an arc because it's not just a straight shot all the time. So you'll actually fall after a bit.
Yeah.
And you got to time, and you have to land in that barrel at the right time. Otherwise, you're going right into the briny deep.
Yeah. There's no better feeling than when you miss yourself launching out of a barrel and you're like, fuck. But then you somehow land in another one before you die.
Yeah.
And you'll find a shortcut or something and you're like, oh, I mean, you pulled a homer. Like,
yeah.
You didn't do that.
Another thing I love about this game is a lot of the hidden barrels that are outside of the screen, they'll always have like a banana marking them. So if you see an errant banana that doesn't belong there, you go explore.
Yeah, just like a hint, you know. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's very well done because it's not giving it away, but it is just kind of putting that bug in your
Yeah.
ear if you're paying attention.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you to try something there.
Yeah.
Going back to
So
the levels, my favorite level in the entire game is the stop and go station where you have to hit the stop go lights.
yes,
I love that level. I
me
will
too.
play that level over and over and over again on a finished game just because it's so good.
That's the one where those like demon Kremlings
Yeah, and you
go
have
to
the
sleep and
lights.
wake up. Yeah, yeah. I like that level a lot too, and I think what's really great about that level is and again, I've never designed a video game, so maybe this is much easier than I'm giving them credit for. But it starts out very forgiving. Like you'll hit a barrel and have it go from go to stop, and as soon as the barrel goes from lights up and says stop, then all these like demon Kremlings go to sleep, and you can sneak by them. And then they wake up after a few seconds, and it starts out pretty forgiving. You've got a few seconds between barrels. You don't really need to be super on point. And then by the end of the level, it's like as soon as you hit the barrel, it's like stop, go, and it's not super precise, but it's asking for some pretty fucking quick platforming
Yeah.
to get through. And I think it's incredibly well timed and well designed, that level. I agree with you. That's one of the things this game does very well is the level variety. Like they're not just run left to right, jump on stuff platforming levels.
Yeah, and
You know?
you kind of experience everything in the first world there, and from that point, actually, you don't really because you get the mine carts in the second one. So yeah, they start offering like a unique aspect to every different world, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, and then I mean, like throughout the game, like instead of just running from right to left or whatever the fucking, and then like beating them that way, you're getting into. There's obviously the swimming levels, which we'll talk about. There's the stop and go levels. There's one where you're turning the lights on as you're hitting the things. You're like
Yeah.
turning on a light. There's a few of those ones where you're on the conveyor belts, like going through the sky, jumping from one to another.
And
My
you got to
favorite.
get the fuel.
That's my favorite one. Is the one where you're on that conveyor belt with the 5 lights, and it slowly ticks
Uh,
down to 1, and you're constantly picking up fuel barrels to just constantly refill your fuel to keep it from, because if you run out of fuel, the conveyor belt just falls off the screen and you die.
yeah, and that level gave me anxiety as a kid.
I think it's just so like I love games where they don't just expect you to do the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
I know we haven't really touched on them too much, but while they've got their haters, I am a massive fan of the minecart levels.
I love
those
the
levels.
minecart levels because they're simplistic in nature. You're just jumping. That's all you got to really think about. But some of the jumps there, are just when you catch the edge of the rail and you make that jump, oh, it's such a good feeling. That's
Oh,
right up there with catching the barrel.
yeah, 100%. I find the toughest jumps in those minecart levels to be there's a few where you need to jump across a gap and there's an overturned minecart waiting right on the other
Oh
side.
yeah.
And
Well,
so you need to wait to the last second to get over both the gap and that overturned minecart.
it's the same concept as the speeder bikes and Battletoads. It's you just got to remember what's coming up there, and then you got to get that muscle memory going.
Yeah. A huge fan. I wish there was more of them, honestly. Like
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of those minecart levels. And then I will say that while I am quite vocal about my disdain for swimming levels, I think that this series has some of the best swimming levels in any game ever. Like
Eh,
they feel good, they look nice, and most importantly, and we'll get more into the music in a minute, but they're so relaxing.
yeah, well, that
like,
music really helps.
It helps because I frankly find them cheap at times. But
Yeah.
especially that toxic one. Dude, those fucking jellyfish that come out of nowhere are such horse shit. Like you don't even know they're fucking coming half the time.
Yeah, once you get the dolphin there, or swordfish,
The
sorry, you get the
swordfish. Yeah, yeah.
swordfish there. I don't mind the swimming levels so much, but before that, I don't know. I always hate the tap 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 float mechanic of swimming worlds as you swim up and then you float into where you want to be, and you got reminds me of like an early build of Angry Birds, not Angry Birds, Flappy Birds.
Flappy Bird. That's what I love about Flappy Bird because I love Flappy Bird because I loved I love that like I just find that mechanic so satisfying. Like I don't know, it just clicks with I really enjoy the way that the swimming feels in these games. But I do agree once you get a hold of the swordfish, then look the fuck out because now you can
Yeah.
play offense.
Yeah,
And
you're
it's-
going after those sharks that were like snapping at you. Fuck everybody. You're just like you're barreling through. Those become
Yeah.
very short levels when you get the swordfish.
Yeah, which I will say too, because that's something else I had down was to talk about the animals. Swordfish, I believe his name was on guard, but it doesn't matter. Swordfish is so far and away the best animal in this game. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I'm not even going to fight you on that one. Most
Like-
useless is Squawks, but you need them.
And that one level, that
Yeah.
fucking stupid bird. That's the only level he's even in. Like,
Yeah.
he becomes a little bit more useful in the future ones, but I think he's crappy. He's crappy.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. Especially, I don't like levels that turn off the lights normally, and this one's particularly bad because you just have the spotlight. Not like, life breaking, but it's just not my bag.
I just don't like Squawks. I just think
fair point.
Sucks. I don't know why. Like I'm not anti-bird. I like birds, but for some reason that bird just fucking pisses me off. Speaking of birds, I would say after this, because the swordfish, dude, like when you're underwater, now you can steer with just the directional buttons. Obviously you can do the spear attack. And what I like about this game too is it does like Yoshi in Super Mario World. If you get hit while you're on an animal, you can still get them back. Like it doesn't just disappear.
Yeah.
They go
and
running
they
around.
stay for a long time. Like On Guard there will be like halfway through the level and you'll find them and you'll be like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, you're like, where the fuck did you go, you piece of shit? Like, where the fuck have you been? Number 2 for me is like second most useful is probably the ostrich.
I would go the rhino for me.
The rhino.
Just because you can run into walls and open up secret areas with them.
Yeah, and he is great for finding secret areas because you can just put his head down and fucking charge.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of like the float. Like in Mario, I like my leaves, my capes, and the ostrich lets you float.
Now, one thing I like about like the swordfish and the rhino is you don't have to hit the attack if you run into an enemy. It'll do it automatically.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a nice touch because, a rhino's not going to sit there and wait till you punch it in the back of the head to spike somebody with his nose horn. He's going to do it.
Yeah, the rhino just fucking goes. And yeah, he is pretty handy for that kind of stuff. And he's like the first one you get. Like you get him like the first level.
And there's like 3 secret spots in that level. You just keep running into walls.
Yeah, and he's a beast for that. I agree. Whereas the ostrich obviously is no good for that kind of stuff. I just like the flow. You don't get the ostrich that often though. I never like. It's very rare I found that I got him in an area where I was like, I could use you now. And then I gotta be honest. I think the frog sucks.
He's good for the bees. That's about it.
The bees. Dude. Fair point. I find him so difficult to control. The way he does his like little hops as he's moving, like he feels so awkward. But when you're bouncing from bee to bee, he's god tier. Like that feels so good. I don't like bees in real life. I'm so fucking sick and tired of people being like, but we need them to keep the world alive. I'm terrified of bees. I think they're evil. And I'm like, if we can put a man on the moon and we can have the internet, we can figure out a way to pollinate this world without those evil little suicide bombing. I hate bees so much. And so when you give me this frog and tell me I can jump from bee to bee and like they can't touch me, I'm in. I hate those fucking bees.
That's all you need. That's all you need in life. That, and you walk outside with one of those electric tennis rackets and just kill bees.
I don't know. Like, it drives me crazy because people are like, it's not the bees, it's the wasps and the hornets. And I'm like, oh, the 2 other yellow and black bugs that sound like fucking bees. Like, I hate them all. But other than that, I find the frog pretty crappy. He kind of just irritates. He's floaty. He feels weird.
Yeah, outside of the bee thing, he's my least favorite as well. I mean, outside of Squawks as well. I mean,
yeah.
I'm going to give him like a bump over Squawks.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But that's the bar is low. The bar is fucking low. Now you mentioned the bonus worlds, and that's something I wanted to spend a little bit. I got to be honest. Like as much as I've probably beaten this game 100 times, I don't think I've ever 100%ed it.
Oh, I never
now that
have.
I think about it.
I never 100% games anymore. I never have 100% of games. I just play them until I'm no longer enjoying myself, and then I move on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm like that with most, but platformers are like my one where I'm like, I'm willing to put a little bit of time into. Like, I usually 100% Mario games. I don't know why I've never tried to 100% this game, because there's a lot to find. I will say, I personally would prefer paths to hidden levels as opposed to just bonus barrels and bonus worlds, or like bonus games. But still, there's so many of them. And as you mentioned earlier, the developers, like, it's you're right. Like you can almost tell where they're going to be without them telling you where they're going to be because the developers just nailed the placement of some of
Yeah,
them.
like you'll get a TNT barrel there, and then you start walking, and all of a sudden you just see a wall, and you're like, "Well, that looks like I could run into that," and you do it, and all of a sudden you're in a secret area getting a free life, and
Yeah.
it's
And that's going back to the difference between Donkey and Diddy. That's another place I find Diddy
oh yeah,
to the advantage because Donkey Kong's strong enough to lift him over his head. So he's great for like taking enemies out from underneath and stuff. But Diddy carries them right in front of him. And so you can just run from wall to wall to wall with you don't have to throw the barrel into the wall. So if you're not sure which wall has the bonus in it, you take Diddy and just start running into walls. And it's such an easy way to look for secrets.
there's your use, Diddy. You can run into walls with barrels of TNT.
That's right. You can run into fucking walls. But there's actually like other over and above looking for secret exits. Like there's a little bit of a defensive strategy to which one you use with a barrel at any given time.
Yeah.
Like it's sometimes like when those Kremlings are, dude, there's one of the earlier levels in the game too. There's a part where there's all these fucking blue Kremlings and you have to go up like a set of stairs or a hill or something. And they're like the really high jumping ones, where they're almost jumping off the screen. And it's so much easier to have a barrel over your head than it is in front of you. But then there's other times where it's just, you'd rather just have the barrel in front of you and you fucking run. Cause no matter what's coming, you'll be able to take it out.
Yeah, I guess that adds to the strategy of the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always take Diddy Kong to run into walls, and if I lose the barrel, I figure it's not worth my time to go find that secret.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I've never 100%ed it because like I do like that if you 100% a level, you get the little exclamation point at the title just to let you know you've 100%ed that level. But I just never. I don't know. I guess the reason I've never gone back for the 100% is because. Like, dude, by the time you're done this game, you have so many lives.
Yeah.
And which granted, it's not an easy game. Like you do need the lives, but most of the bonus levels are just more lives.
Yeah, that's very, very, very true.
Like, I'd prefer extra levels.
Well, you find those golden animal tokens there, like the big ones there. And when you get with 3 of them, you go to the animals bonus stage and you jump through it, get as much as you can, and like the last 20 seconds, you beef it off to the secret giant one, and you get a 2 times bonus, so you get like 6 to 8 lives out of that.
Yeah, and you know what? If I'm being honest with you, like when I play this game now, I go out of my way not to collect all of the gold animals because I actually. Once you don't need the lives anymore, I actually find those bonus levels very boring.
Well, they pop you back a bit as well. When you come out of them, they take you back, I think, to the last checkpoint.
Yeah. And it feels like they run for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you don't do anything. You just fucking jump or swim or fly around and just collect tons of little gold U's. Like there's nothing can kill you. I wish there was an exit you could pick or like start, select, and leave. Like I don't collect them unless I have to because I just find those bonus levels to be a nuisance at this point.
Yeah, I collect them because I'm stuck there. I might as well do something.
Sure. Like like when I'm in the bonus levels, I just mean that like I don't collect the statues to trigger the bonus levels.
Oh, I get what you mean. All right.
Yeah. The only bonus worlds in this game that I really like are the ones that have some kind of challenge, like either the barrel shootings or I really like the ones where they have the 2 little crocs and you need to jump on both their heads over and over without getting touched.
I like the one that does the card game with the free life there. So you have the 4 barrels and it starts going back and forth really fast and you have to guess which barrel it's in.
Yeah. I don't hate that one either. I just wish there were like, which one I can't stand are the ones where you need to like touch all the letters to spell out like Rare or Nintendo.
So tedious.
I missed them on purpose. I'm like, I don't fucking care. And then I have to watch the little sad thing where we lost. And I'm like, I don't care. Then I fucking lost because it's just boring.
Yeah.
So
I'm the same way.
Like the maps like from world to world are very, very cool. I just wish there was more to like branching paths. A couple of extra levels to go to or something. Because like they're very linear,
Yeah, the whole game is linear. You're just going from the left to right and then you find King K. Rool there. There's no deviation, like you said. I actually believe there is literally no deviation except for maybe walking to like a Cranky Kong's cabin or something.
Yeah, that's it. But now in their in their defense, like this is all stuff they address in future. You
got to start somewhere.
games.
Like the original Star Fox was basically a tech demo, so
yeah, exactly. So, okay, so we talked about the winter world and how awesome it is. I'm a huge fan of that factory world just because it feels so different than all the other worlds.
It's the one world that really doesn't fit this whole thing for me, but you're right. It's like really fun. It's just like, what the frig does an oil factory have to do with these bananas and toxic waste and stuff? And it feels like it's an episode of Captain Planet there, and you just need the evil, polluter.
Yeah, it does. I just like that it's a change of to their credit, they do a lot with the jungle setting. Like there's levels where you're like on the ground, like in the jungle. There's the ice parts where you're up in the mountains. There's the part, I love the ones where you're in like the tree houses and like the whole level, you're just going from like one tree house to another is very cool. There's parts where you get into like the deeper woods and you have to, I love the levels where you have to get a hold of the vine and then it's auto scrolling and you need to dodge like bees and stuff. Like those feel really solid. There's the minecart levels. There's the levels where you go to the like temple ruins.
I see, that's the one level I'm not a big fan of, is the temple ruins. Just, I don't know, it feels too again out of place. But then I look at the toxic waste oil factory and I should love the temples a bit more, because at least they thematically belong on this island.
The only thing I don't like about the temple levels are why that gopher or the beaver or whatever the fuck it is, like it's in like a giant hay wheel or whatever the fuck, and they're like chasing you.
Oh,
and I just don't get why. Like, I just don't get why. It seems oddly out of place. This like giant cheese wheel thing or whatever the fuck it is.
Maybe I don't like the temples because I find them very bland compared to like the rest of the game.
Yeah, they are. Like everything else is so bright and colorful and full of life. I do agree with that. Like they're probably among my least favorite levels as well. It's nice for the change of scenery once in a while, but you're right. By the end of the level, you're like, all right, I've looked at this. Whereas the factory, like, I don't know why. I love the music in there, how it gets almost kind of like a little bit more like, I don't know what the term is, like rock, I guess, like more techno. It sounds different. I love the way they look. It's nice to be in a different setting. I like all the fire that's mixed in. I do hate that fucking one level where you have to swim in the toxic water. The level fucking drives me crazy. It's my least favorite level in the game. Fucking level burns my ass. It fucking makes me nuts. But they do a lot with very little to change up the different worlds and all that kind of stuff. And then we'd be amiss if we did not mention, outside of Mega Man, for me, probably the best soundtracks on the SNES. Like, I love the music in these games. All of them, all three of them. Even Donkey Kong Country 3, which I don't love. I love the music.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not even going to fight you on that. Mega Man X would be like the top tier for me. This would be like a close second. I can't think of another game outside of RPGs that have better music.
Yeah, like Earthbound obviously has great music. Like some other games do too, but like the music just fits so well. Like when you're in the jungle and they're playing that like dun 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 dun, dun, and it kind of feels like a cartoony, you're a big monkey destroying things. The underwater music is the most like tranquil music you've ever heard.
Oh, you could fall asleep to that one. Don't listen to it while driving.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fucking incredible. I love the factory music. I'll put that in here somewhere, or else it'll be coming up in a couple of minutes here. I really like that factory music. And another song I really, really like is the K. Rool.
That's so good music. For like a final boss song. Like it's not what you'd expect. It's very what show am I trying to think of? SpongeBob SquarePants, maybe. Like,
yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
It's just so happy.
Yeah. And then as the fight goes on, it kind of starts to mix in the drums and the bass a little bit more, which is a really cool way to like tweak it a bit and make it a little bit more intense. It's just so good. And then every time you beat a level, you go back to that overworld and the same music plays every time. And that music's so happy and uplifting. Like now you're just these two monkeys traveling through the jungle again. And I really don't think the game has a flaw outside of its boss fights. And I guess I do agree with you. You brought up, and I should have thought of that myself. The save system could have been better. Not horrible, but could have been better.
Yeah, it's not game breaking. It's just, it's annoying, especially in the era that we're in. Mind you, Super Mario World did the same thing. You couldn't save unless you went to like finished a castle or a boo house. We all know that we all went back to that one boo house that you could go grab the 3 items on top of it, and then we'd fly up and we'd go save there because it was quick.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
And
It's it's a miss. Like, it's great that it's got safe. Like, thank fuck we were like,
oh god, yeah.
one of my favorite things about the Super Nintendo era was that we were done, for the most part, we were done with the password phase. We're like, here's some save files, which is great.
Oh, fuck. How many books I have filled full of passwords. I don't even know what game they belong to anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It would have been nice if you could save a little bit easier or more conveniently. Cause it's just like, I gotta be honest, dude, like in any game, like I suppose, again, the argument could be made that like that extends the difficulty of this game a bit and keeps people playing it longer. Cause you might get game over. Dude, you get the very first level in that snow world is that one with all the barrels in the blizzard, which for my money is one of the harder levels in the game.
Yeah.
And you could game over there because you can't get to a save point. You can't get to Funky to get out of there to get back to the world map. And I personally just can't come up with any reason for them to have made that the save system other than people might game over here. And then we've got a reason to keep them playing. Like, it'll extend the length of the game a bit.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of any other reason.
The only nice point about that snow level is you're only one level in a boss fight back if you have to go back. So
yeah, but it's just enough to kind of make you have to go
annoying.
back and do it again. And it's the same as like, I guess you're trying to stop like save spamming, but like I replayed Final Fantasy IV. Actually, I think it was the last time you were on the show is when we were talking Final Fantasy IV.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Which was again Final Fantasy II on the Super Nintendo. We've got to fucking throw that out there. And I love that game, but it's so annoying that like you can't save unless you're, and I know a lot of classic RPGs are like this. You can't save unless you're on the overworld or you find one of those save points. And it's just like, just let me fucking, like, that's one of the things I love the most about modern games. Like, there are things about modern games that I detest, but one of my favorite things about modern games is that I can pretty much just pause, save anywhere I want.
Yeah.
And it's just like, fuck, I don't want like, and to their credit, now when I play a game where it isn't like that, where I have to find a place to actually save, it almost rivets up the tension a little bit.
Yeah, but it's also done a lot better nowadays as
100%.
well, where the tension is you're going back maybe 20, 30 minutes. You're not going back half a world.
100%. Whereas like these games, like you said, it's just, we fucking like Nintendo, we have like, I don't know what you're doing, Rare and Shigeru Miyamoto and fucking people in Nintendo, but like 12-year-old Adam, man, I got fucking school. All right, I got tag. I got shit to do. Okay, I can't just fucking play your game all the goddamn time. I would if I could. I want to, but I can't. So let me fucking save.
Yeah, especially if you're like one of those people like I was, wake up in the morning, get a quick session in there, and you had to leave the Super Nintendo on all day because you couldn't save it.
Yeah. Oh my god, and that's where like I'm not a gatekeeper for retro games. Like I get people all the time that are like, "Hey man, I use save states and stuff all the time and rewind. Am I cheating?" And I'm like, "No, fucking play the game however the fuck you want. Who fucking cares?"
Yeah, exactly.
I personally like to just play them as meant, but boy, save states. Even my precious Super Mario World, like when I play it on my SNES, when I save and then turn my cartridge off and then turn it on, like all my lives are gone. Like I'm back to 5 lives again.
Yeah.
And all that kind of shit. And then, like, it's just more convenient to play with save states where I can save anytime I want and come back.
No, you're absolutely right. Save states. Well, I started using them because I started emulating a lot before all these, services came out with them. But save states has been like a life changer. And I have I use Google Drive, so all my save states actually save on Google Drive. So if I go play in an emulator on something else, say my phone, all my save states are available on my phone. So it's like cloud saving for Super Nintendo.
Technology. Man, can you imagine going back to 1994, 1995 and showing us gaming in 2025? Like, it would blow your fucking mind.
Especially as you pulled that little magic brick out of your pocket there, and it's like better than the TV they're watching, and you're just like, oh yeah, I could do that just by streaming this show.
Dude, a smartphone. I said to Shaylee, had I had YouTube when I was 12, YouTube, forget every other aspect of the internet. If I had YouTube when I was 12, I never would have gotten off my computer. Like,
and maybe you'd know how to use one. Hi-oh.
Yeah, true. You're not kidding. Fuck you. Kids today are fucked. Anyways, I'm ranting about save points, but like the simple fact is, like, this game is a straight up masterpiece. I have more love for Mario World because that's my baby, but like This is probably number 2. I think it's one of the finest video games ever made. Absolutely one of the finest platformers. If by some miraculous chance you're listening to this and you have not played Donkey Kong Country, grow the fuck up.
What the hell?
Yeah, grow the fuck up. Go play Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, seriously. You should have paused this episode like an hour ago and
yeah, I agree.
finish the game, right?
Yeah, you could almost finish it in the time we've done this podcast if you're good at it. So
that's true. Yeah, I watched a speed run just for fun, and I've been doing that lately. When I finish a game, I watch a speed run just to see what the people who have way too much time on their hands can do. And pretty sure this game is under an hour. So
I believe that. Like I wasn't even trying to speed run it, and I beat it in the length of one football game, like from beginning to end. Like it's just it's so good. I do like Donkey Kong Country 2 better, but
29 minutes and 57 seconds set 9 months ago.
That's fucking I like speed runs, but every time I watch one for a game I like, it just makes me feel like I fucking suck.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, man, you people are mutants, man. Oh my god. Are we good? I think we covered pretty much everything I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, there's nothing really else I could talk about this game. I mean, we've pretty much gushed all over it.
Yeah. All right. Let's score it then. Okay, so how about it costs 25 cents to play the original Donkey Kong?
There you go.
And Cranky would be mad if we didn't give his game some love. So let's score this one out of 25 cents.
Hold on a second. Let me type in inflation calculator.
Yeah, no shit. What is 25 cents today from like 1980?
Let's see. If you're going to be a calculator, okay. 0.25 cents in what's in 1980, we'll say Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I'll call it 1980.
91 cents. So we should do it out of 91 for inflation.
Oh, fuck. 91 cents. Jesus Christ. All right, 91 cents. Go ahead. Guest honors.
God, now I got to do math because I have this out of 10 in my head. But
I love our system. Well, I was going to score it out of 10, but then he said out of 25. But 25 in 1980 is 91 in 2025.
Yeah.
What is my score out of 10 in 1991?
Okay, I understand. I shot myself in the foot here.
This is good shit. This is the logic you get on Remember the Game.
I love it. All right. Well, it's not a perfect game because I don't have like the exact same amount of love for it as you do, like the way you say you play it all the time. I play it once every couple of years. 91, I'm going to go 83. I think that's roughly like a 9 out of 10 without actually having a calculator in front of me.
Yeah, it's probably close. Yeah. I'll give it 88.
See, it's not that easy, is it?
No, it's not. No, I'll give it 88. Like the save thing does irritate me a little bit. I do think the boss fights are kind of weak, and I would have liked a couple of optional levels. But other than that, like my biggest criticism of Donkey Kong Country is that it doesn't include stuff that's included with Donkey Kong Country 2, and that's not fair to Donkey Kong Country. So, but it's a masterpiece. It's a must play platformer for my money.
Yeah, if you love platforms, even if you played the new Bonanza, you should play this just to see where it all came from.
Yeah, I agree. What do you just before we wrap it up, I'm just curious, what do you think of the new design for old DK from like Bonanza? I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either. Like I haven't played Bonanza yet outside of like a quick demo at a kiosk, but I actually enjoyed the design of him. He felt like the same Donkey Kong, but it also felt like he was more modernized. If he looked, maybe I'd have to look at a picture of him again. Donkey Kong Bonanza. Oh, I get it. Bonanza is like banana. I just got that.
Ah, really?
Yeah. That's how little I've paid attention to. No, I like him.
Fuck.
I do like the new design. I do like that, he has like a funky new hairstyle and he still looks like that big old ape from the 90s. So they modernized him without ruining him.
Yeah, he looks happier.
Yeah.
Like Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong, like he just looks fucking, he looks like he's fucking hungover. And he's just like in the fucking Kremlin stuck by bananas. And he's like, you fucking assholes. Whereas like the modern Donkey Kong looks like he doesn't drink. It looks like he's sobered up and he's fucking feeling good. So
yeah, well, you got to go to AA to smarten up, right?
Yeah. All right, buddy. That was fun. I think it was episode 40 when we first did this game. Now we're episode 358. This episode will be. That's crazy. So we'll do a part 3 around episode 700, and what are you doing when you're not talking old games with me? You're talking old games other places.
Yeah, we myself, Alan, and Sam, we started a podcast just over 100 episodes ago now, and it's called Retrotopia. Follows somewhat the same format you do. We do an introduction. We have comments from our Patreons, and we go into a game of the week. But unlike you, we kind of keep our group consistent. So we've gotten to know each other pretty well, and we definitely realized we do have different tastes in games, and it's actually becoming a lot of fun.
That makes for better podcasting. It sucks when you just agree on everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's bad radio.
Yeah, we're about to do Devil May Cry, and I may not like the game.
Oh, I hate that fucking game. I hate it. Well, I hate's a strong word, but the cameras drive me fucking bananas in that game. No pun intended. So, good shit, man. Congrats on over 100 episodes. Like, not a lot of shows make it to 100 episodes. That's a big fucking deal.
Oh yeah, we're pretty proud of that one.
Fuck yeah, good for you guys. Check them out, guys. There'll be a link in the description of this episode, as long as I remember to put it in there, as I should do, because it's my job, right?
I'll just add everyone in the Discord. They love that.
Yeah. Cap, thanks for doing this as always. And I guess I would say have a good Christmas, but by the time this goes live, the December 10th will have already passed. But coming up in December 10th, you will be joining a couple of my other buddies in a PlayStation 1 Remember the Game draft for a future expansion pass, which I am quite looking forward to.
Yeah, got to defend the title.
Yes, it's gonna. We have, for those that don't know, it'll be going live before the end of the year for our patrons over on Expansion Pass. It'll be 3 of my returning guests that have all won previous draft episodes, and then I will be filling the 4th seat because none of my other previous champions are available, and we'll each be drafting 10 PlayStation 1 games to try to come up with the best lineup possible. Dude, I was looking and unquestionably at this point, we've done NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Nintendo 64, and then Remember the Game episodes. Outside of the one where we drafted games covered on Remember the Game, PS1 is by far the deepest library.
This is going to be the easiest draft to get what you want, because there's probably 60 games that would make a great list.
Yeah.
It's just, it comes down to who gets the right Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it's really remarkable how, I know we're talking Donkey Kong Country, but it's crazy to think about just how deep and how many good games are on the PS1.
Oh, it's insane. Making my my list of games there was just, it's so many games I forgot about that were great.
Yeah. I've always said, if Nintendo could change one thing, I guarantee you they would go back in time and not drop the partnership with Sony. They would have stayed in bed with them instead of creating their own biggest competitor. But I honestly wonder if after that, if they couldn't change that, I have to imagine they would have gone back to the Nintendo 64 and made it a disc system.
Yeah.
Because they lost so many games to Sony.
As soon as they lost Final Fantasy 7, I mean, that's their biggest loss right there. Then, Microsoft buys Rare. It's just slowly killing them.
Yeah.
They're barely hanging on with their, second best selling system of all time.
Yeah, no shit. Fucking crazy. You know what? It's kind of funny to think, had had Nintendo gotten in bed with Sony, and had they had a disc system and all that, they would have. I wonder if they would have so then we wouldn't have a PlayStation. I imagine Sega would still be making systems. We might be in a straight up Nintendo monopoly right now. Maybe knowing the way Nintendo is, that probably wouldn't be good for any of us.
Sony would have taken over, and we'd be playing Ghost of Mario.
Yeah, no shit. Oh, fuck. Anyway, we could go off into the woods for this forever. Cap, thanks for doing this as always, buddy. Talk to you again soon.
Great doing this. Later.
And that is going to do it for this week's episode, Cap. Thank you so much for giving me a call and talking the precious Donkey Kong Country. What a fucking game. And of course, To every single one of you listening to this, whether it was your first Remember the Game, your 358th, maybe your 297th, whatever. Thank you so much for listening to the show. I am very, I appreciate you, right? I laid in bed. I'm like, hey, I love you, right? Like I do, though. You guys, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the support. Really, we're very, very grateful. Don't forget to check out Cap's podcast, Retrotopia. You'll find links in the description of this podcast, presuming I remember to put them there. And if you like our show, maybe leave us a good review, would you? I don't know. I'm not sure what they accomplished, but boy, they melt my heart. They make me feel good. And when we get bad ones, they get buried by the good ones. So let's keep it that way instead of letting all the bad ones my heart. Just do whatever. A good review would be great. I'd appreciate it. That's all. And if you really want to check out the show and go all the way, I literally hit the stop recording. I went to slam my hand down on the desk. If you really want to support me, the old Patreon. And when I hit the desk, I hit the space bar and stopped the recording. But yeah, patreon.com/remember the game. $3 a month is all it takes to get you started. New podcasts, tons of old podcasts. Remember the Game ad free with timestamps right into the show, the Discord, help us pick games, DM with me, and so much more. Coming in 2026, more game live streams and stuff over there. And I have a couple other ideas that I'm kicking around in the old noggin as well. I'll finalize over the holidays. Speaking of the holidays, you will not be missing any Remember the Games over the holidays. I myself may be hiding away for a little while, eating and drinking myself into a stupor. But we're hopefully, assuming nothing goes wrong, going to have the last 2 Wednesdays of 2025 locked and loaded by the end of the weekend covered. Next week, I'm going to be rolling solo. There'll be an episode going live on Christmas Eve, episode 359, where I'll be talking Simpsons skateboarding, which is just a travesty of an abomination. And then to wrap the year out on Remember the Game 360, my boy Tyler joins me and we'll be talking BioShock 2. We're actually recording that one on Friday, but it's not going live until the end of the month. So yeah, okay, Patreon's plugged, Cap's show is plugged, I'm plugged. That's for me to know. I think I'm gonna thank some Patrons and get out of here. Thank you all so much for listening. I appreciate you. If you are a patron, come back tomorrow for Expansion Pass. We'll be airing our gaming grievances because it is Festivus. And yeah, talk to you guys next week for some Simpsons skateboarding. Take it easy, everybody. Cheers. Remember the Game is brought to you by our Patreons. I couldn't puke up all the content I churn out every week without all of your support. The following people are the senior executive vice president level or higher at patreon.com/remember the game. And as such, I am contractually obligated to say all their names in as short of time as possible. So we're just going to go oldest to newest this week. I'm feeling off. Huge thank you to Remember the Game Hall of Famer Slick Motherfucking Rick, Big Chavello, Magic Money, Sharonic, J Nasty 15, Jork King Keegs, Dissect That Dan, Doug Dorn, Chris Fleury, Andrew Wright, Jordan, Eldest Millennial, Little By Fufu 89, Angry Ticks, Dave Thompson, No One Cares, Scott Brooks, Aaron Lawson, JSK Fusick, A-Town, Morgan, Zane, Donovan, Ryan Kinchin, Mike Maloney, G9PSX, Mercury 869, Wolfgang, Darren, Andy Hudson, Doogie, Wolf Magic 21, Johnny from Virginia, Squint, Steen Donian, Jeff Bergeron, Randy Barrage, Just a Fish, Fill Up My Dog with Barks. I like that one. That's good. Holmes, Zach Shepard, Captain Black, Silver, 333, Chucker 22, Elijah Burns, Discount Psyop, It's That Nerd James, Madam Nutsich, DBXJ, Jameer Williams, Steve Dulk, Snuffy, Al, Leo, Little Mo with the gimpy leg, Cheeks, Pony Bob, Cliff, Mizzou, Juris Dr. Mario, Tyler, Phil Entry, Joe the Sandman, Northern, Jake Carter, Laces Out, Dan Growlywog, Beaver Boy, Thomas Smith, Leroy Westrich, Dark Squall, Rush's Dog Walker, Stud Still Smash, Matt Babinu, Gabe, Fuzzy99, Decoy Man, a dude named Adam, Wyatt the Surgeon who isn't a surgeon, Rowe, Blaine the Hoagie Man, Scary Terry, Storm Beagle, Archangel Otaku, Earl, Hagel Waffle, High Plains Drifter, Jimothy, Oroku Saki's Gardener. Am I so out of touch? No, it's Coda Blaze who is wrong. General Fury, I am the very model of a modern major general. Max Lagroom, James Juan Francesco, John of the Adult Children Podcast, Drugs Bud, okay. Sam Carpenter, Donnie the Dude, Walter, Sleeper Hit, Squeak Nuts, Isaias, Hits Meals, Timmy the Exuberant Turtle, Christian Gabriel, Maverick Marty, Musty Beetle, Graham Kennedy, Timothy Zabrinsky, My Left Nut, Beef Dingleberry, Ben Malloy, Quiet Place Queen, Christopher Britt, Zamatos, Big the Cat, Tadpole, T-Bear 87, Maverick, Brandon DeZeba, Kia Pup, Monsteristy Boner, AB Killen Works for Me, Ted Explosion, Ryan Perry, Alex R. Please refrain from tasting the knob. Scotty J, Just Car Prank, Zombie Xe, Bartman Forever, Darth Skywalter, Postman, Nick Creature, Adam Martinet, The Big Deal, Ryan 4664, Kevin Monroe, Can't Destroy Her, Pee Wee Squitters, Nordak, Leroy Jenkins, Lord Palmerston, Beers of War, Because 19, Infinity Rage, Marcus Mendoza, Lauren Logron, Von Hugendom II, Roger Staubach's Pool Cleaner, Lucas Shaman, Frosty Bear, Sour Goat Face, Faded Sufferance, Chris Hillers is Scared, That Could Be Anyone's Ass, B Money, Penguin Milk, Fallen Snow Keeks, Kiku the Supreme Chozo Rizzo, you son of a bitch, why? Tell me why. E-Man Trucker, Mark Sneed, Shoeboxers, Adam Blank still hasn't reviewed Mario Galaxy. Jake Callahan, Robbie Air, Brian Richmond, fill up my blob with parts. Bula, Matt Zeus, Too Much Karma, Mopey36, Cesar, fill up my mouth with farts. Liquor Like Luigi, Cody Thompson, JR Bob Dobbs, Bob Sacamano, Mr. Jabroni, Big Daddy Randall, Ida Yellow, Ryan Whitcomb, Flinny123, Justin Tate, Lotus, Thrill Ho, Toby OP, Scotty McGee, Alex McIntyre, Spider Cat, Eric Hopewell, Darbles, Generic Name 238, Isla Vandal, I think I'm saying that right. David Schroeder, Muncal, Diablo Spartan, Justin Blair, McCracken, Wilco, VOS Rager, Brother Retro, Conebread, Ocarina of Tim Rocks, Daniel Cook, Desiree, Super Saiyan, Safarioth, Hello Mr. Thompson, The Grim Patron, MacGyver88, Travis Sanders, Lord Salazar, Flater Flav, Erotic Onion Ring, Captain Asbury Juice, Dookie Bowser MD, Shut Up, Topher Love, Thunder Leaps, Legendberry, Jinxie425, Akiris Network, Horror Wars Podcast, Jeff Leopard, Game Boy Ganon, Fancy Store-Bought Dirt, Steaming Wooly, Botfucker, Mikey Hag, Shane's World, Devin Collins, Cannon Fodder Games, Trooper Galactus, Exotic Chaotic, Just James, Spooky Dookie, Profound, Frank Preeves, the okayest of Muffins, plural, Landed Turquoise, Siegfried, Tyler Patchell, Handsome, Major Angus, McZongo Esquire, Raph is my favorite turtle, not Donnie, Lindsay Lee, Jonathan Breyer, Redline Arrow Drones, fuck me, I was so close, George Swan, King Tiki Tiki, the $100 Kid, Ted Michaels, Chris Nethercutt, Dave Feith, Carl Not Garl, Amanda Hugginkiss. Oh my, I was doing good and I fell apart at the end there. Thank you for the support, everybody. Appreciate you. Cheers.